Bob was born in Detroit, Michigan in 1923, the same year Carolyn T. was born in New York City. Bob grew up near Chicago, and T. spent her school days in Andover, Massachusetts and Palo Alto, California. They both migrated to the mountains for college, meeting at the University of Colorado. During the war years, they lived in Palo Alto and moved to Denver in 1946, where Bob worked in accounting for Continental Airlines. Bob eventually left the airline and started looking for mountain property, where he and T could raise their family of 6 kids. In 1961, the family moved to the Roaring Fork Valley after finding a remote working ranch near the end of Capitol Creek Road. Bob envisioned an idyllic life with his family growing up in the shadow of Haystack Mountain. He told a newspaper reporter that he moved to the Roaring Fork Valley to raise children first, and he would learn to raise cattle as he went.
We moved up here right the week I turned 13 years old in 1961, and it was heaven up here for a teenage boy who loved fishing.
It's sort of every little girl's dream of being able to have a horse in your backyard.
The Child family initially lived in an old log cabin with electricity and telephone, but no running water, while their home was being built. Bob and T were thrust into the world of politics by accident when the Aspen Skiing Company and the Forest Service were studying the feasibility of a possible ski area on adjacent Haystack Mountain, and the Childs feared it would mar their beloved landscape.
The Haystack Mountain ski area would have been bigger than the 4 mountains in Aspen combined in terms of total acreage, and all the way from Snowmass Creek to the Avalanche Ridge up above Avalanche Creek.
Bob wanted to see wilderness, not another ski area, and he did not want to sell the ranch.
So it would have been an enormous ski area, and there would have been a big base village at the bottom, which would have necessarily had to be on our ranch here because it's right at the base of the mountain.
With the final hearing only months away, Bob asked everyone he knew to write an urgent letter to the U.S. Forest Service in Aspen, opposing the proposed ski area.
My dad probably spent a good 5 years, writing letters and, getting other people to write letters and showing up and, but he was determined and never let up. So, he could have sold this place and been wealthy the rest of his life, but that wasn't what my dad was about. He loved this place.
At the hearing, the Forest Service commented that they had never seen so many comments on a proposed conditional use permit. The permit was ultimately denied, and Haystack Mountain became part of the Snowmass Maroon Bells Wilderness.
Jimmy Carter, one of the last things he did while he was in office was to sign it into the Maroon Bells Snowmass Wilderness area.
And it would have ruined the Capitol Creek Valley if they had built a ski area here. It wouldn't be like a peaceful ranching kind of community like it is now.
Bob was urged by local wilderness advocates to run for county commissioner to fight for local environmental issues. He served from 1978 to 1988 and 1993 to 1995, and is well known for his support of land use policies that maintained low-density development and preserved open space corridors.
Bob was an innovative commissioner because he was someone who not only talked the talk, but he walked the walk.
He always would say you have to think 7 generations ahead. What you're deciding today will affect the next 7 generations.
Bob's passion for the environment led him to take on more regional issues.
One of the things he was most proud of in his whole life was in getting water for the Ute Mountain Ute tribe.
He traveled to Washington, D.C. with John Denver to lobby the Department of the Interior to block a reservoir and to restore water rights to the Southern Ute tribe. For that effort, he was made an honorary member of the tribe and received a creative initiative in the Cause of the Environment Award from the UN Environment Program.
He was one of the first elected officials here who was really truly an environmentalist. Now think about this is like 35 years ago. And he always had the long-term best interest of Pitkin County at heart.
Bob was instrumental in creating CORE and was its first board representative.
What we tried to do was raise the consciousness of people in both Pitkin County and the city of Aspen of the need to reduce the carbon footprint.
He was a founding member and active participant of the Snowmass Capitol Creek Caucus, was involved in the establishment of and served on the board of Pitkin County Open Space, was on the Pitkin County Planning and Zoning Commission, and served on the boards of Aspen Valley Hospital, the WinStar Foundation, Colorado River Water Conservation District, the Western Slope Water Advisory Council, the Northwest Colorado Council of Governments, the Governor's Water Roundtable, and Colorado Counties Incorporated.
All those things are in part of, I think, the efforts by Bob and a major part of his legacy.
T was not only Bob's partner in environmental work, but also worked for many years as a typesetter and proofreader for the Aspen Times and for the Rocky Mountain Institute, where she also served on the first board of directors. She helped found the Basalt Library and volunteered as a Blue Lady at Aspen Valley Hospital and as a Basalt Girl Scout leader. She was a member of the Basalt Bandmothers, the Basalt Literary Cirrhosis Club, and the Basalt Homemakers Club. Bob and T were married for 57 years. Before their deaths, Bob and T ensured that the Child Ranch would retain its wilderness characteristics in perpetuity by starting the process of placing a conservation easement on the property.
Bob always had a very strong affiliation with the land and wanting to keep it as working agricultural land. To him, the worst thing you could do with any kind of farmland would be to build a golf course or a subdivision on it.
The ranch was one of the first large blocks of land preserved for green space in Pitkin County.
The conservation easement on this ranch was the beginning of a whole bunch of ranches that Aspen Valley Land Trust has gotten conservation easements put on.
In 2004, they posthumously received the Landowner of the Year award from the Colorado Division of Wildlife.